Hello, my name is Paul Shrimpling. I'm the Managing Director of Remarkable Practice and creator of Business Bite Size for Accountants. And this is video 3 of a series of 3 videos around how you make more use out of Business Bite Size to generate more client loyalty, generate more cross sales, generate more client referrals, and actually clients who are predisposed to paying higher prices for you and your firm. In video 1 we covered off the technical work, workflow work and relationship work, and how you as a firm, you as an organisation need to balance your time better so that you invest more time, effort and energy in the relationship work. Because without more meetings with clients, without better meetings with clients, you're unlikely to generate more client loyalty, generate more cross sales, generate more recommendations and referrals, and generate more clients that I would actually accept comfortably and happily a price increase. So video 1 was about up your game around the relationship work, up your game around the number of meetings and the quality of the meetings you have. Video 2 then went on to go, well, look, if we just up the quality of the meetings, then you and your firm will be well placed to have the 4 wins. Client loyalty more of, cross sales more of, referrals more of, price increases more of. And we focused very much on the end conversation, the final parting or the final part conversation at the end of your meetings, whether it be post-year end, pre-year end or otherwise, so that you actually deliver a conversation, engage in a conversation with your clients that they think, wow, at the end of that meeting, I'm absolutely with the right accountant, and if they're given half a chance, they'll recommend and refer you. And that's because there's real value in the content of Business Bite Size. Have a conversation around it and you'll win more of all of the above. Now this video 3 is about the detailed wording and scripting and structures that you use, or structure rather, singular, in order to engage in that high quality conversation at the end of your meeting. And what I want to do is share with you a structure that I've used for 20 years, because me like you like me, probably struggle to change the way you do things just because we're habitualized to do things the way we've always done it. And I've discovered that if ever I'm about to make a phone call or have a meeting, whether it be with a team member, a customer, an introducer or a prospect, and I want to prepare well for that meeting, I look to this structure to create the what's the best way to describe it? To create an easy in to the conversation. And this is the structure I want to share with you. And it's one that I was trained on this by a number of people. One of them, Peter Thompson, who you may have heard of. He's well worth looking up. And the structure goes like this. You need to ask a question that gets a yes. You need to ask a second question that gets a second yes. What these 2 questions and answers get is your customer nodding positively. Now when you ever get someone nodding positively, they're likely to be predisposed to the statement that's about to come and the open-ended question that follows. So for example, it makes sense, doesn't it, that you balance up the technical workflow and relationship work based on what we've covered already. You would say yes to that. And you now know, don't you, that it makes sense to make the end of your meeting more valuable than it's ever been before. That gets another yes. Now we're going to make a statement to say, well, if we're going to make that end stage of your meeting work brilliantly in a high value conversation, what you need to do is ensure that you get the scripting structures absolutely spot on to make it easy for you and easy for your client to engage in a conversation. So tell me, how would you like to proceed? How would you like to use Business Bite Size in a more effective way in order to generate higher quality meetings, higher quality end of meetings, so that your clients think, wow, this firm of accountants are absolutely perfect for me? Now, off the cuff, I've just used that 4-stage four-stage process, yes, statement, question, so that you can appreciate the logic. Now, we're going to apply this to the use of Business Bite Size. So if I get an example of Business Bite Size, and this one's on the 7 wastes. So if you wish, dig a copy of this out, put the video on pause and we'll run through it in a little bit of detail. but it works even if you haven't got that. Headline: how can you work less, beat your competition and unlock greater profits in your business? Now, we need to tee the conversation up. So, we're going to ask a question that generates a yes. I think one of the resistances to this sort of approach is that you might feel as though you're techniquing your customers. And in a way you are, but actually what's more important than that is you're using a technique for you, yourself, so that you're comfortable, you're at ease. You actually get to a place where you're relaxed engaging in this conversation. So this technique is designed for you, not your customer, so that you can go, actually, I'm going to give this a go. Now, you may recall on video 1 we talked about when Sally and I were preparing for this process, this series of videos. Sally asked me, what is it that distinguishes the high growth firms, the highly profitable firms, from the others? And I suggested they had 3 things that distinguished them. One is they were open-minded. They were always looking for things that worked. Second, they would test them. And third, if the test worked, they'd look to actually push it across their whole of their business so that they could make the most of that newfound technology, that newfound idea working for them. So all I would ask is you test this. Question 1. You know how us accountants are a little bit obsessive about numbers? Gets you the yes question. And I think you'll agree that some numbers in your business are more important than others, aren't they? So what we've done is invest in having these 4-page reports generated and created and written and made to look very pretty, so that you can have a look at a number or a series of numbers that could potentially have a massive impact on your business, your bottom line profits and capital value. This one happens to be on the 7 wastes. The 7 wastes doesn't sound particularly appealing, I know, but it's from the Toyota production system. Toyota have been brilliant at what they call lean manufacturing, lean processes, and use the management of the 7 wastes and how to manage those wastes out of their business in order to drive their profitability and effectiveness up. And it's just taken that idea and generated some interesting reading and some support tools as well that enable you to benefit from managing those wastes out of the business, driving certain key numbers up and the numbers that really don't matter out of the business, the waste out of your business. So tell me, have you seen a copy of this? Have you read this? So what we've done there is we've generated a question which got a yes, another question that got a yes, a statement of value, and then in this case I asked a closed-ended question which got a yes or a no. Now, if we got a yes, then we can engage in with them and simply ask them what stood out as being of most value in this report for them. What are they doing with it? What do they plan to do with it? What didn't they like? We're just engaging in a conversation, that's all it is. And all you need to do is show interest in what it is that they liked, disliked, are doing with it. It's that simple. Complex it's not. And you ask open-ended questions, and I'll cover something off on open-ended questions shortly. They might say no. So your job is then what? To engage in a conversation to encourage them to read this. That's the only outcome you want. If they've not read it, you want them to read it. And so you can tell them 1 or 2 stories. The story of the school that was wasting 1,300 hours of teaching time that clawed them back because of a little simple question the headmaster asked, which actually features in the report. And you can turn to that question, ask it, and see where it leads. You could tell them the story of the story that shows up in the tools and resources. So on page 2 here, there's a story about a laboratory that does blood tests and urine tests and so forth, and how by managing waste out, they were £365,000 a year better off. Did things 45 minutes faster, got people out of beds quicker and so forth, and see how that might apply in some way, shape or form to their business. So there's stories that can engage with your business owners to encourage them to read it, and then finish with the, well, do you want to read it? Is it of interest to you or not? Now they're going to say yes or no. If it is, hand it to them and then simply say, well, I tell you what, I really like your feedback on this. Shall I give you a ring later today or later in the week? Which would you prefer? Now that's another simple structure question. It's a which question. Do you want us to talk later today or later in the week? It's called an alternative choice closed-ended question if you want the technical terms. They'll tell you either later today or later in the week. Book a call and ring them up and just have another chat after the meeting. Are they going to appreciate that or not? More than likely. And you are now engaging with your customer around Business Bite Size. Now tell me, if and when you do that, if not in every meeting, in more meetings than you are at the moment, you do that, when your clients next receive a copy of Business Bite Size, are they more or less likely to A, open it, B, read it, and maybe even C, do something with it? And if you have 4 meetings a year with that particular client and you bring Business Bite Size up with them 2, 3, maybe even 4 times at the end of the meeting each time, which is designed to deliver value to the client, are they more or less likely to stay loyal, more or less likely to buy additional services, more or less likely to refer and recommend you, more or less likely to accept a price increase in the future? My argument is it's more. Why? Because you're focused, wholeheartedly, authentically, genuinely want to deliver value, and you're doing it at the end of a meeting which has a big impact so that you get all those 4 results. So hopefully this structure, the content here and the content in the tools, give you the resources and the triggers, if you will, to help you. If you're wondering what questions to ask, actually each edition of the tools that accompany each edition of Business Bite Size have 3 questions, one of which you can ask here. So let me just run you through that and then we'll wrap up. So without interruption, I'm just going to run through this process using this structure and using a question that shows up in the tools. So you know how us accountants are obsessed with numbers, and that I'm sure you'll agree, I think you'll agree, that some numbers are more valuable, more important than others in your business. Well, we've invested in Business Bite Size, a report that comes out every 2 months. It's on a different subject, a different thorny issue actually in business that you may be experiencing at the time, experienced in the past, or maybe experienced in the future, and look at the solution to that thorny issue. So tell me, which parts of your business do you think are guilty of costing you more time and money than others? That's the yes statement question, using one of the questions from the tools. So every edition going forward have got those 3 questions so that you can run this process, engage your clients in a meaningful, valuable, standout, memorable conversation about something that could be of profound value to their business, which means that, not surprisingly, they're more likely to be staying loyal with you, more likely to buy additional services from you, more likely to recommend you, and more likely to comfortably, happily accept a price increase in the future. And therein lies what ultimately Business Bite Size was designed to do. It was designed to help your clients improve their business, help you engage in a high value conversation at the end of your meetings so that your clients leave those meetings thinking or saying, you know what, I've got absolutely the right accountant for us and for the future of this business. You achieve that and they're more likely to recommend and refer you, aren't they? They're certainly likely to buy additional services and will be comfortable with the price increase, I'm sure. And you know they're loyal if they're saying that. That's us done. If you've got any questions at all, please feel free to email Sally at, Kate at, or Paul at Remarkable Practice, and we'll do everything we can to help you unpick, unravel, or assist you in any way apply what you've learned in video 1, video 2 and video 3 of this series. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye bye.